Well, hello and welcome again to our reading of Iliad Book 3, and we're up to line 369. And we've seen that Menelaus goes to attack Paris with his sword, and it breaks in various pieces, and he's somewhat distressed. And we have this thus he spoke. And Laban from Erist without augment, he took, so Epaixas darting forth, and then the Erist, he took hold of the horse-haired helmet. Epistrepsas here is possibly something like having twisted him, that is Paris, around. Helke, imperfect, he began to drag him among the well-grieved Achaeans. From Helco, this is the imperfect. Anke, lots of new words here really. Anko is to strangle or to choke, and the subject here is the himas. And we get the adjective polukestos. Polukestos means something like richly embroidered, much embroidered. The kestos is connected with the verb kentio, to prick, and hence lots of needlework. So richly embroidered strap. Anke, imperfect, was choking men him. Under his hapele is soft or tender, darein neck. And then himas, we've got the strap which tetato is from, this is the pluperfect passive from tano. So the verb is tano, to stretch, which was stretched. Now the ocus here is another word for strap. So as a strap, hoi for him, hoop antherionos, hoop antherion is his chin. So which was tight under his chin for him, like a strap, truphaleos, for his helmet. So he's being dragged by the helmet. And in fact, just for a bit of fun, just to put a little picture here. There's a little picture of some comic or something where there's Menelaus dragging him by that's the horse hair, and it's strangling him. You can see he's got his hand there to try and pull it back. So that's the picture we have in mind here. Now we get kai nu ken. This is in Homer, when you see kai nu ken, it means what you expect's going to happen is not. So he would have erusen, he would have dragged him, and he would have erato. This is from anumai. This is from anumai. The root of it is in here. The nu is that infix and then the ending. So it's to win. So he would have won aspeton kudos, unspeakable glory, countless glory, or much glory, or countless glory. Ame, except that the end is not going to happen for Paris, except that Aphrodite, daughter of Zeus, Noese, without augment, noticed Oxus sharply. So happened to, or kept a close eye on, so noticed it suddenly, and she, Rexen from Regnumi, this is the heiress, she broke for him the himanta, that's the accusative of that himas, the strap, and then we get this genitive here, the strap, which was came from an ox who had been killed. Iffy, this is an old instrumental fee ending. There is an old obsolete word is, meaning strength, and this is the instrumental of that one, and it's just fossilized, so iffy with strength. So the strap from some ox who had been killed by force. Kane for kene, that's a little bit tricky there, that's empty. It's not the ekanos word, it's from kenos, empty. So the empty helmet literally followed along with his thick hand, with his stout hand. So the strap's been broken and all he's got left is an empty helmet, which comes away in his stout hand. So you could translate it as came away with him in his stout hand. Then in apposition to Strophileia, the helmet which afterwards the hero, that is Menelaus, now we've got to keep in mind this, with the well-grieved Achaeans, or among the well-grieved Achaeans, and we need the verb, there it is, rips, from ripto, and this is the aorist here without augment, so which he hurled among the well-grieved Achaeans, epidinesas, having swung it around. So it's very visual. He takes this helmet, he swings it around and he hurls it among the well-grieved Achaeans. Commisan de Erieres heteroi, and his trusty comrades, commisa, they fetched it. It's again aorist from commisdo without augment. So his trusty comrades fetched it. Alta hoaps ep oruse, and he leapt back, and the epi probably against him, many Einon desiring kataktamanai to kill him. He leapt back desiring to kill him with his bronze spear. Tonde, but Aphrodite, this is from ex harpasdo, this is the aorist, so harpasdo is to snatch out, but Aphrodite snatched him out very easily. Hos to theos, well, perhaps like a god, or perhaps since she was a goddess, even though it's theos, not thea, so perhaps like a goddess, or perhaps since she was a goddess. Ekalupse, from kalupto, she covered, understand him, a eri polu, with much mist. Now this often happens in Homer. The gods want to smuggle someone away, then they cover them with much mist, so you can't see what's happening. Cad dehes, now this cad is from kata, and the haste is from hisdo, normally in hisdomai, middle, and so this is a preverb here, and so it's to sit him down, to set him down. So she set him down in, we have to understand his, from what comes later on, I think, in his thalamos, in his bedroom, which was ode, sweet smelling. See the ode root here, and the sweet smelling, and konte, and well, perhaps full of incense, or this root might come from the root of burning, perhaps, but anyway, it's probably with it's scented, perhaps we'd say. So in his sweet-smelling, scented bedroom. And we know that he's always presented as a kind of dandy, so this is appropriate for him. Alte de, but she, that is Aphrodite, again, ear is from Amy Ibo, and it's the imperfect here, and we just get the it root and then the epsilon. So she went off, Cal eus, this is probably a future here, being about to call on Helen, or to call to Helen. And Kikani, this is from Kikano, to find, and she found her Purge F Hupselo in the high, or on the high tower. Remember, she's been there with the Trojans, and Priam asked her who these various people were, and there she is, still in the high tower. Peri, adverbial here, around her there were Trojan women. Hallis, well, it often means sufficient, but probably here in the sense of there were lots of them in large numbers. So there were around her Trojan women in large numbers. Keri de Nectariu. This is a and this goes with the Hianu. So some funny vocab here again. So having taken her by the hand, etinaxe, from tinasso, to shake. Actually, this genitive is probably after the labusa. So having taken hold of her fragrant robe with her hand, etinaxe, she shook her. So she sort of pulls on her fragrant robe, and now we get equia. This is from that aco root, like to. This is a feminine participle. This is common enough in Homer. Like to an old woman, palai gene, well, long-lived, of an ancient generation, so a long-lived old woman, she addressed min for outain her. Now we continue on with this in apposition to this old woman, a woman who is erocome. This is a wool comber, or carder, so a carder of wool, who, now the ascane is imperfect from ascio, but we've got a movable nu here, probably to avoid the two vowels here. So it's ascae, ascae, imperfect, and it is to ascio is to work. So who used to work on the beautiful wool, hoi, with her, that is with Helen, and in apposition to that, with her when she used to dwell in Lacedaemon, in Sparta. Okay, so putting that together, so like to an old woman of a past generation, or a long-lived old woman, she addressed her, an old woman who was a carder of wool, who used to work on the beautiful wool for her, for Helen, when she used to dwell in Sparta. And phileeske, she loved her most of all. So this is that phileo, to love, or to be to hold dear, and we get the skirt, the iterative skirt root here. She loved her most of all, and we get a ring formation here, so it's like to her, and then we get it closed off here again with another word of resembling. So having made herself like to her, so resembling her, glorious Aphrodite addressed Min, that's for Outane, that's Helen, addressed Helen. And we'll finish at that point and continue in a later video.